Okay. Hi, this is Carl. This is my second YouTube video. And if you haven't seen my intro, I'm totally blind and have only light perception in the right eye on the very outer edge. I want to speak to you about how to approach a blind person if you meet one in the street or at a social, just to make it easier for general public, because I know there's a lot of ignorance out there, so we've experienced as well. The first thing I can advise you is, if you approach a blind person or meet a blind person, don't be shy to speak to them. We don't bite, hopefully, and we're very normal, hopefully, except for we can't see. We generally can hold a conversation. Some of us are extremely boring, but then so are some sighted people. But anyway, no, everybody's got different personalities, and so we like, we prefer if you come speak to us instead of cutting us out or ignoring us. The second thing, if you see a blind person in the street and you think he or she needs your assistance, it's always best to go up to the person and say, "Can I help you, or do you need some help?" Instead of just grabbing the person by the hand or ear or nose and dragging them around like an object, because that does happen, believe it or not. The best would be is to grab them above the elbow, just about there, and they will follow you about half a step behind, and they can feel if you go left or right by the movement of your elbow, and up or down. It's always a good idea, if the person doesn't know you, to warn them of an up or down step, obviously, or a narrow space. Another idea is, if you're leading them through a narrow space, is to bring your elbow behind you, and basically so they will feel that they need to walk narrow, and they're going to walk through a narrow space or between two vehicles or whatever you need to guide them through. Another thing is, if you're fortunate or unfortunate enough to offer one of us coffee or tea, it's a good idea to ask us directly whether we would like some tea or coffee, instead of asking our partner. Many people used to ask my mom, would I like some tea or coffee, or my friends or whatever, and generally we can speak for ourselves. Another thing I've experienced when they meet a blind person is they speak slowly and loudly, either or. Generally our hearing's fine, we don't have a problem with hearing. In fact, often our hearing's very sensitive. And also we battle to listen slowly, because we use technology with text-to-speech like on the iPhone and on Windows, and we generally set the speech output pretty fast, so we battle listening slowly. And the other thing is also, if you meet somebody, if you meet a blind person and you introduce yourself, there's the myth going around that if we touch somebody's face, we can recognize them by their facial features. That, I think, is very personal. I preferably don't do it, and I think it's really in somebody's personal space. So I generally prefer, and most of us prefer, if you introduce yourself to somebody, give them your name and say, so-and-so speaking. And then next time we might recognize you by your voice, but remember, we meet a lot of people in different noisy environments, so a good idea is, until the person gets to know you very well, is when you say hello to them, say, "It's Carl speaking, how are you doing?" That sort of thing. Then they know who you are. Once we get to know you, we'll recognize your voice. Another thing is, when you're in conversation with a blind person, don't be shy to use the words blind, look here, see there, check this out. That's part of general conversation, and we use those words too. We're not sensitive about the word blind, and we also don't like these politically correct expressions like persons with disabilities. I find that is a bit blind, excuse the pun. Just call us blind or visually impaired or whatever. I call us blindies and you guys sighties. So that's basically how I feel about it. And then I can't think of anything else except for just be yourself. When you meet a blind person, include them in your conversation. We feel comfortable about being around us. We accept we've got mistakes, you've got mistakes. We all should, accept each other for who we are, and that's what I think is more important. So don't worry if you're going to step on somebody's toes or feel awkward about saying something. And generally, if you talk to us, we respond normally. We won't use the body language and we won't pick up on your body language, but we're pretty good at picking up tone of voice. And another thing is that just came to mind is if you speaking to me or a blind person in a group, often it happens to me that a friend of mine would ask me a question and I would hear him or her, but I wouldn't respond because I would think he's talking to somebody else. Or he would ask somebody else next to me a question and I would answer because I obviously wasn't checking that his eyes were focused on the person next to me. So it's often a good idea if you're in a group to say to the blind person, say his name and then say, or tap his shoulder and ask the question. Then he or she will know, the question's directed at him or her. Yeah, that's it. So just be comfortable. Those are the basic tips. If there's any more, I'll let you know or comment in the comments below. I'm just going to, without upsetting this phone, going to just try and bring there. I'm just going to try and focus in on a few gadgets I have here. First of all, we have a talking tape measure. Let's switch it on.
Including case, 95 millimeters.
It's set in millimeters, so for you US people out there, I'm going to set it to inches as well. Sorry, I just blocked the camera there. I just needed to...
Turning off in 5 seconds.
Don't turn off. Okay, I've got the stainless steel glass cup mug, whatever you want to call it. It's blindly proof, so you can't bump it or break it. Or I do use glasses, obviously, in my house, but this is just my everyday mug, and it's stainless steel, so it gets bashed around. Say we want to measure it. Let me just quickly grab the phone around the outside and set it like there, just so the camera is more or less focused there. If I put that on the side, let's measure the height of the cup. So it's in millimeters, including case. So I line up the top of the case to the top of the cup and the bottom there.
Millimeters, including case. 119 millimeters.
119 millimeters. So if we go to inches,
100 centimeters, meters, feet, inches, 4 and 11 sixteenths inches.
4 and 11 sixteenths inches. There we go. So that's how you measure something. Then let me just get the position of this. I don't know if that's in the scope of the camera. Here's a little liquid level indicator. What this does is it's got 3 pins at the back, 2 longer ones and a shorter one. The shorter one, first of all, the longer ones, when you pour liquid into a cup, it hangs over the edge of the cup like that, and the liquid will come up and touch the 2 bottom pins. And what that does, it sets off a beep, which I can't demo because this thing's battery is flat. In fact, it is beeping a little bit now. So when you pour in instant coffee, you chuck your coffee and sugar in and you start chucking water. It will reach those 2 pins, it beeps slowly, then you stop, then you grab the milk and you pour till it reaches the 3rd pin, then it will beep faster, then you know you're sort of near the top edge of the cup. Actually gives you, it's actually not near the top edge, so you go past, gives you quite a lot of leeway to go past if you are pouring fast, but it helps you from putting your big toe or your finger into the cup when you, especially working with hot liquid. And over here, I'm going to actually pick up the phone. Oops, sorry about that. Let's just work this out. Here's a dial. This is a Dymo tape writer for Braille. Actually, let me show you in everyday use. I just want to grab this phone like that. Microwave oven with most of the major buttons labeled in Dymo tape with Braille. So there's power, grill, combo. That's 10 minutes, 1 minute, 10 seconds. Stop, start. So if I press on where I've got the Dymo tape, stop, that's stop. Or start. Ooh, it actually works. Stop. Okay. So yeah, we have the device I use to write the Braille. It's got a dial with Braille around the edges. I don't know if that focus is any good. I want to write ABC on the Dymo tape. So in there's Dymo tape. And it comes through there. I've just got it through a little slot there which feeds through, and then I've positioned the A. Let me just check the A opposite the slot. It's one there. I'm trying to work with one hand. Then I lift the thing up and I squeeze there. I give it a nice little squeeze, Then I switch one right to B and squeeze. I rotate another one C, squeeze. And then to do a space, you just squeeze it softly so it doesn't actually print through the Dymo tape. Now I swing the thing around. There we got A, B, C. Wait, this tape is not, oh wait, sorry, it's my mistake. There's A, B, C. I don't know if you can see there with my index fingers. A is one dot, B is two dots above each other, and C is two dots next to each other. So that's our label. Like the microwave, which I don't use very often except when I defrost. Yeah, so I live alone, I'm single, and I cook, try and cook, survive, whatever. So just to give you a quick idea, convection oven, timer's still going. It's got the dial for the temperature, 250, if I guess about 200. I set it more or less where I suggested. I do fish, chicken, potatoes, anything you want crisp and brown you can do in here. It's pretty awesome. And then that sets the time, how long on that dial. And what it does, switch it on, it's got a widely spaced grid in there, and it circulates hot air from the element in the top with a fan, and then it circulates air all around underneath the food, and so it crisps it in there. And most of the time I steam my veg with the steamer, which has got the same Braille Dymo tape, which has got, I just used two little dots, which is meant to be arrows, and then an A for 1, 2 is a B, C is 3, D, E, F. So that's 10 minutes, 20, 30, 40, 50, 1 hour. And that's what you rotate to position that arrow. I'm not going to switch this on because I think this actually switches the actual system on. I've got a George Foreman cooker there, my usual kettle and coffee, and that's all I really use to cook. So yeah, I'm not an amazing cook, but I survive. It was basically just to show you that us blindies can survive and can be quite independent. I love my electronics. Let me quickly show you there. I have a flat screen TV so I can entertain. I listen to TV. It's currently on Geo Wild. No, I think it's just Geo Knowledge. Sound system to me is everything. I've got Clips front end, Clips floor standers. US guys, you'll know the Clips equipment. Onkyo receiver, Pioneer Blu-ray, which I don't use because it's Netflix, and that's mostly Netflix and what I use online and YouTube and that. Stream media. Big 15-inch Velodyne sub. Yeah, so that's basically what I do as a bit of pastime. I enjoy music, I enjoy TV, listening to TV, entertaining. Check this out quick, model car collection, surround speakers, BMW surround speakers. In the ceiling, yes, I don't know if it will focus there. Ceiling speakers, somewhere there, monitor audio. So I've got full Dolby Atmos on the surround sound with height speakers. Model car collection since a kid, collected cars. And then over that side is some of the model trains. I've got a model train layout I'm building. I'll show you that in a separate video, but those are some of my friends' engines at the top, and mine, some of my engines that aren't running, and because most of the others are on the layout, and some model trucks and stuff that go with it. So yeah, we live quite a normal life. We all have similar interests. Well, blind people have way varying interests. So yeah, what I'm trying to say is we have similar interests to sighted people. I come from a motoring family. I have driven cars, obviously on quiet roads or safe areas in the, like in a quiet area with a very good navigator, which makes the difference. Flown aeroplanes. I do a bit of sport. I used to run marathons. I want to get back into it. I gym a little bit, ride horse, cycle tandem. But yeah, other blindies do other amazing hobbies, and as this channel grows, I'd like to share other blindies' interests with you as well, and how they do it and how they approach their challenges and that sort of thing. But it was awesome sharing with you. Please subscribe, please like, dislike. Email address will be there. I am available on Facebook and Instagram. So yeah, thanks for watching.